Changing who we are and building habits that actually stick can be a really, really challenging process. So today I'm going to share with you a few key tips that will make this a much more enjoyable and effortless process. Number one is to reduce the amount of willpower that's required. If you are having to make decisions consistently throughout the day based purely on willpower because you're looking to implement a new habit and you're just forcing yourself to not do what you used to do, you are going to find this a really challenging experience to go through. An example of this in a health and well-being capacity is remove the crap that you're not wanting to eat from the cupboards, from the refrigerator. Otherwise, you're relying on willpower when you go to the cupboard. Every single time you're going to the cupboard, every single time you're going to the refrigerator, you're having to make a decision based on willpower. Versus, if you only have the foods that you're wanting to eat, then you're able to make that decision rather than, do I do this or it's so tempting, right? Remove the distractions, remove the temptations, change the environment that you're in, and all of a sudden, you're in a better position to make decisions that are in alignment with the habits that you're wanting to display. Number two is to change the underlying belief system that brought about the old pattern of behavior in the first place, the old habit. What tends to happen is that if you only try to change an action without transforming the underlying belief that brought about the old action in the first place, you're going to be fighting against that. I'm going to give a personal example of this because I had one last year that really generated some extraordinary results for me. I was eating more processed food than what I had wanted to and wasn't able to reduce that last amount of body fat that I was wanting to lose. I'd been trying to change the action, gotten in reasonable shape, in pretty good shape, and then, kind of gone in a few waves. And then I said, right, time to sit yourself down. I sat down in the chair. I was in Boulder in Colorado at the time, writing some music there. I sat myself down. I said, dude, the action isn't going to cut it anymore. You've said that you're going to do this and you're not following through. Change the underlying belief that is bringing about this dysfunctional pattern of behavior, and you're setting yourself then up for a greater chance of success with this. So I sat myself down, uncovered the limiting belief that was going on there, the belief I'd change it to, and I would highly recommend writing this down. I have the freedom to eat whatever I want and consistently choose that which results in me feeling empowered, energized, and alive. This belief, I made some others during that time. I can't remember what they were. This one though, amazing. Here's why. Freedom is a value of mine. I love having the freedom to be able to live wherever I want. I love having the freedom to be able to choose the projects that I work on that make the impact in the world. I love being able to write music in different locations around the world. Freedom is a big value of mine. So I have the freedom to eat whatever I want. I'm not saying, oh no, you can't eat that. And I consistently choose that which results in me feeling empowered, energized, and alive. So I'm not saying but, I'm saying and. And that change allowed me when I was going to the grocery store, okay, what's going to result in me feeling empowered, energized, and alive? When I go to the refrigerator, what's going to result in me feeling empowered, energized, and alive? And I had this, which I highly recommend when you create a belief for yourself. If you use this one, please let me know how you go with it, because for a lot of people, including clients of mine, it has been game-changing for them. For me as well. I put it front and center on the freezer door at eye level, and I look at it, read it out loud every single day until it becomes ingrained in who I am and how I am executing. By building a belief, an underlying belief that is aligned to the habit that you're wanting and aiming to execute on, you are setting yourself up then for a much more effortless process rather than feeling like you're battling against yourself. Now, if you're getting value from what we've gone through in the video so far, smash that like button and make sure you subscribe for future videos like this. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm and only takes you a couple of seconds. Thanks so much, and let's keep going. Tip number 3 is to track your progress. Now, the level of detail you're going to go into when it comes to tracking your progress depends on which area of life and also what areas you're not getting the results you want in right now. If you're not getting results in a specific area, chances are you're either not tracking the progress that you're making, because what gets measured gets managed. So you're not tracking the progress to be able to manage that effectively. Or you're tracking the progress, but you're then not making the changes required to get a different outcome. A lot of people want to lose weight. Okay, so let's say you measure your waist or jump on the scales once a month. probably not going to be detailed enough for you to know what changes you need to make. But if you're measuring on a daily, weekly, monthly basis instead, it allows you to see the micro changes that are happening, get used to it, because you can go up and down slightly at different times depending on what day it is and what you ate the night before. But over time, you're going to see, is it trending downward? Is it trending upward, right? If you're looking to gain muscle and it's trending upward, good for you. If it's trending upward, but you're looking to lose weight, not so great. And so you're wanting to determine, what are the numbers telling me? Because at the end of the day, if you're wanting to lose weight, at the basic level, most basic level, you either need to increase your output or decrease your input. Either you need to exercise more or you need to eat less. The tracking mechanism that you have in place, how detailed is it? And is it allowing you to get the appropriate level of data to be able to get an understanding as to where you are, and is what you're doing on a day-to-day basis getting you towards where you want to go? Right? Because just because you put a habit in place doesn't mean it's going to actually get you the outcome you want. Right? You might need to change your habit, because at the end of the day, the habits that we're implementing are simply to get us the outcomes that we're looking to achieve in our lives. I want to achieve X outcome. I want to achieve this level of health and well-being. Okay, these are the habits I'm going to implement in order to get there. Right? They're simply vehicles for you to get the outcomes you want. And so if the data is showing that the habit that you're executing on isn't getting you towards where you want to go, either you've fallen back or you need a new habit. And it's going to help you to understand as well, what are the habits I need to stick to going forward in order to get extraordinary outcomes. Tip number 4 is to notice the change. This is big, because when we're making new changes in our lives, the period from when it starts to when it becomes unconscious, where we do it with our eyes closed, the time in between that is a very delicate time. It's a time where you're most susceptible to falling back to the old pattern of behavior. In that time, if you can be noticing the changes that are happening along the way, it can allow you to notice the progress that is being made toward the outcome you're looking to achieve, and you living in alignment with the habit that you're aiming to stick to. I'm going to give a personal example here from something that happened a little while ago that really resonates with this point here of noticing the change, because I really noticed it. And the reason why I'm going to bring it up here is because it completely changed my behavior afterwards. So one of my indulgences, eating a plant-based diet, one of my indulgences was coconut ice cream. Love the coconut ice cream. And I had this pint of coconut ice cream in the freezer. After I had gotten my latest weigh-in, my latest DEXA scan, which allowed me to see my body fat percentages. It allowed me to see, I've made some awesome progress. Here's going to be a reward. All right, oh yeah, have that. You're good. So I sat down that evening, and up until then, over the last couple of months, I had been having these beautiful, amazing smoothie bowls made of frozen blueberries, frozen bananas. There was some spinach in there, almond milk, bit of protein powder in there as well, a couple other ingredients. So that it was just so amazingly beautiful and resulted in me feeling empowered, energized, and alive. Notice where this is going. When I had the pint of coconut ice cream, while I was eating it, yeah, I'm feeling alive. I'm feeling energized. But immediately afterward, I noticed a feeling of sluggishness. I felt sluggish. It was only minor as well. It wasn't a huge, but you want to be looking out for these micro changes. And I noticed, I don't experience that when I have the smoothie bowl. When I have the smoothie bowl, I feel like dancing around afterwards. When I have the coconut ice cream, immediately afterwards, during, both similar. Immediately afterwards, different. When I noticed that change, I checked in with myself and thought, what is the experience I'm wanting to have? I'm wanting to instill this habit of being healthy, of feeling empowered, energized, and alive. These are the habits that I'm executing on. And this example, this indulgence that I had here, didn't result in the result that I was wanting to experience. I actually haven't had, that was maybe 6 months ago. I haven't had even an inkling of wanting it, of coconut ice cream since. Noticing the changes and then how they align to your beliefs that you're building. Notice how this all works together, because there was an underlying belief I have the freedom to eat whatever I want and consistently choose that which results in me feeling empowered, energized, and alive. There was the action that I had been taking, tracking the progress that I was making, then noticing the change that I had made, because I was noticing the change that I was making with the positive side, which then led me to see the difference and the distance between that experience and the experience that I was not wanting to have. All of a sudden, it became effortless in making the change and not going back to an old pattern of behavior. When you're aiming to execute on a habit and stick to that, notice how it feels when you're sticking to it, but also notice how it feels when you don't stick to it. There's a chance that you're not going to be perfect, right? When on your journey to executing and aligning to a greater version of yourself, there are probably going to be some times where you fall back down. Utilize those rather than beating yourself up. Utilize them as growth opportunities. Utilize them as learning experiences. Utilize them as ways of noticing the changes that you've gone through and how maybe that's not what you're wanting to experience going forward, so that you can then distance yourself from that old pattern of behavior, that old habit, which makes it easier and more effortless and more enjoyable to stick to the habit that you are wanting to stick to and that is most aligned to your ultimate objectives. What habits are you working to stick to at the moment? Post them in the comments below and I'll see you in the next video.